The 2025 season is over. The Abbotsford Canucks are Calder Cup champions. Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome back to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network, and I am Connor. I'm one of your hosts. I'm here with my brother Kyle.
Yeah, we are a show brought to you by the fans, for the fans. We're not officially sponsored by the Grand Rapids Griffins or Detroit Red Wings. We really just like to talk about the Grand Rapids Griffins, and our main focus is to keep you guys updated through this off-season.
Yeah, so the season has ended. The Calder Cup champions are the Abbotsford Canucks. Yeah, it was a heck of a season. I hope everyone's enjoying their summer. It's been a really hot one out here in Michigan, and it's been time to get free of hockey, go out there and live, get your golf in, get your disc golf in, all that fun kind of stuff. Yeah, it's really good time of the year, and glad hockey's not right in the middle of it.
Yeah, but at the same time, the NHL draft is happening. So as soon as the Stanley Cup's over, it's like you get a week, and then the draft recycles right on top of you, and then you finally get your break. So we got some news as the Grand Rapids Griffins and the Detroit Red Wings have signed some players for next year. It looks like Antii Tuomisto signed a 1-year, two-way contract with the Detroit Red Wings.
So yeah, this deal pretty much gives Antii Tuomisto the ability to go up and down and test the waters with the Detroit Red Wings. He's really improved last year for the Grand Rapids Griffins. He was like, we gave him the best defenseman award because he just looked really good out there. He's at that age where he has to sign this kind of contract or go somewhere else, and I'm glad to see that he signed the contract here. Antii Tuomisto this year played 67 games for us. He had 3 goals, 24 assists, and 27 points.
Yeah, and as a player drafted in 2019, a second-round pick, I believe he was after Seider.
Yeah, he was the pick after Mortiz Seider.
So it seems like forever ago, being that Seider's all been in the Red Wings for 5 years already.
And he's a national champion. Can't forget that. College NCAA champion with Denver.
Yep, so signing a 1-year contract gives him another chance to prove himself, get that. He led the defense in points this last year, and finishing plus at all is kind of a good thing, seeming that the Griffins fell off at the end of the season. So, yeah, definitely a player we're looking forward to having back next year. And some of these players don't develop immediately. Some of them need the time to cook in the AHL, and I think he's one of them. Give him a chance, and he might just be a good third-pairing defenseman for the Red Wings in the next couple of years.
Yep, and he's got that right-hand shot, too.
And William Lagesson ended up getting a 2-year extension from the Detroit Red Wings on top of his current contract. Obviously, he put himself into a role-playing position where it looks like he possibly will start the season in Grand Rapids, and they will call him up when needed, as he suited both roles just fine.
Yeah, so he's played 23 games for the Grand Rapids Griffins this year. He had 3 goals, 6 assists, and 9 points, plus 13. He started on the Grand Rapids Griffins last season. He started out, he played really good. Got called up to Detroit, and he played very good up there, so they ended up keeping him up there as a 7th D-man. So
ended up sitting a lot of nights on the bench, but like I said, he's playing his role, and he got himself a 2-year contract doing it. So sometimes you just got to do what you're asked, and William Lagesson has been very versatile, especially down here for the Griffins, being plus 13 at the beginning of the season. I think he was a huge attribute to the hot start we had, so it'd be good to have that again.
The Detroit Red Wings have released the Century logo. It's 100 years of Detroit Red Wings hockey, and it's a huge thing to celebrate. 100 years of the hockey that all of us in Michigan have grew up to love. I knew about the Red Wings way before I knew about the Griffins. I mean, they're absolutely an original 6 team, and I think they did the logo right. I think they are absolutely the best logo out of all the other 6, and awesome to see 100 years of the NHL.
Yeah, just being born in '96, only experiencing just such a short period of what the Red Wings hockey legacy has been. Definitely blessed to be able to experience it, and yeah, Red Wings being at 100 years, that's just wild. Think about hockey going on that long, being that we are one of the top contending team in all of sports. I think it's time to get back in that contention.
Yeah, it's about time. We got a lot of unhappy fans. We have a lot of impatient fans, but I think we're just on that hump. And if we can get over it, I think we're going to be competing.
Yeah, sometimes just a little thing like this, being a 100-year anniversary, can push a team towards
Yeah,
that back towards that legacy.
it sure would be cool to have the 100th season be when we get back into the playoffs.
So the Detroit Red Wings have put out that they want to hear from you on your opinion of what the center ice logo should be, and should it have the Hockey Town back in it?
So for me, I've kind of been I've missed the Hockey Town because I really liked back at the Joe Louis Arena at the Hockey Town when we had that. Goes to Little Caesars Arena, and there is no Hockey Town. It's just the Red Wings logo. I always wanted to throw the Hockey Town back in there. Then Kyle actually mentioned to me a really cool point. You want to explain that to them?
Yeah, I say the Hockey Town logo needs to be deserved. You put that regular logo, the regular 100 logo out there until we make the playoffs. And then once we make the playoffs, you put that Hockey Town back out there once we deserve it. And then you can carry it from there on out once we've made it Hockey Town.
Yeah, I'd be happy either way. They're both really cool logos.
So we want to talk about, being that it's the end of the season, now that basically all teams have won their championships, ECHL and the Toledo Walleye making it all the way to the conference finals and winning, moving on to the final round of the Kelly Cup. Unfortunately, they lost to the Trios Rivieras Lions, Montreal Canadiens ECHL affiliate. So congratulations to the Lions on winning the Kelly Cup. Unfortunately, they had to steal it from our very own Toledo Walleye.
Yeah, and then a lot of stuff has happened for the Walleye. A lot of players are dispersing. It's not going to be the same. Tyler Spiza's gone. There's Brendan Hawkinson talks with other teams. It's just it's a change of an era, and it's really sad that we couldn't capitalize and get that championship. We've been so close for so many years, and it's really interesting to see what the next regiment of Walleye will be. And yeah, hopefully it's good. And then that Walleye connection with Derek Lalonde is also gone. You don't have him from Toledo. Now you got Dan Watson on Grand Rapids. Different. We'll see how things go in the future.
Yeah, but one thing for certain, you want to keep the Toledo Walleye around as an affiliate. Their hockey fan base is a diehard fan base, and it'd be a shame to lose that. So
I agree.
we can move on to the Calder Cup finals, which are finally over. It seemed to be the last one that wants to end every year. So congratulations to the Abbotsford Canucks, the 2025 Calder Cup champions. They ended up going to Game 6 with the Charlotte Checkers.
Yeah, they really did good on that side. Yeah, they played in from the playing round and went all the way to the end and won. You don't see that all the time, and that goalie they had is absolutely amazing.
We love.
He played really good. I think he's the reason they won. I
I
think
agree.
I think Canucks got a lot of really cool players to look forward to, and I mean I was rooting for the Checkers, but it was definitely a fun season. And too bad the Griffins aren't the winners, but it is what it is.
Yep, hoping to be back next year, of course. I do think Abbotsford winning this just kind of gives me a little more faith. If Charlotte Checkers would have just come in and sweep Abbotsford or just kind of knocked them out, I would have kind of been convinced that that conference would have just been a little tougher than ours. As Hershey Bears going back to back years, and then Charlotte Checkers kind of coming in, beating the Hershey Bears, and kind of going to the finals again out of that division. It just kind of makes you wonder. It makes you want to play around a little more too. We got to play like Lehigh Valley this year and Springfield. Those are teams that you don't get to see every day, and it's a good chance to kind of go and see what kind of talent is out there in the rest of the league.
So then for the Stanley Cup, the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup for the second year in a row. Second year matchup versus the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl, former Griffin Calvin Pickard, who actually played very well in the finals, but not good enough. So Florida wins, and yeah, congratulations, Florida. They're absolutely insane.
Yep. With that being said, congratulations, Tom Thomas Nosek, who was a former Griffin, and we did catch your post that you made that it all started in Grand Rapids. So thanks for that. And congratulations to the Florida Panthers as a whole. Everyone's a little jealous of you, and that move by Brad Marchand to kind of slide over there and add to that chippy, destructive, chaotic hockey that they play really kind of seemed to push them over the edge and get them there. So sometimes you make moves and they work out, sometimes they don't, but Florida Panthers seem to have it in the books.
Yep. So let's get on to our Cross Hanas giveaway real quick. So we had a Cross Hanas puck and poster giveaway, and we found 3 Cross Hanas posters. So first place will get a hat, Griffins Pipeline hat trick hat with a puck and poster, and then second place and third place will be getting a Cross Hanas poster for their own first set. So thanks for competing, guys. Everyone gets Cross Hanas.
Yeah, and thank you, Cross Hanas, yourself for the posters, and Puck, you're the man. Be great to see you out there again for the Griffins next year. So lucky enough to come up with 3 posters here for you guys. We will announce the winners here.
So in first place, we have Lynette McClarty Comrade. In second place, we have Stranger Wings at A Separate Mind. And then we have Steve Velata. Sorry if I mispronounce your names, but you can direct message us to claim your prize. We'll reach out to you and let you know you won, and you have 48 hours to respond. We'll send you out with a Griffins Pipeline hat trick hat, and we'll throw some extra goodies in there with it. So
we like to give you a little Griffins Pipeline care package. So that being said, those Griffins Pipeline hats, they are hat trick hats. They're easy to throw on for a hockey game. If your favorite player or any player at all scores a hat trick, easy to throw down there versus the nice hat that you just bought from the team store.
Prefer keeping that, then you can throw this one and it'll be okay. We'll probably, if you reach out to us, get you another one. We had a fun interview with Lars Thorsell from the Swedish winger. We have the rest of the interview later on for we're doing a segment this summer called Players in the Pipeline. We got a bunch of fun interviews coming up, and Lars and the Swedish winger will be one of them, along with, so far we got some Michigan hockey. We got Al Randall, voice of Michigan hockey, and then we got Michael and Madison from Munster student section at Michigan State. So we got we're going to talk about some of the prospects, and it's going to be real fun. So we got a couple more coming too. Yeah.
So with the Swedish winger, we had a nice long chat. We got a chance to talk about some draft. So we are actually going to play you some of that. We figured since it's the draft today, we're actually listening to it right now. We'll kind of play this for you. It'll be the part 1 of our interview with the Swedish winger. And yeah, we just kind of wanted to talk about the draft with him a little bit, hear his opinions. Pretty good stuff in here. We'll kind of let that play. We'll get back to you when it ends, and we'll talk about the actual draft results. Did you want to talk about the draft at all, seeming that that's right around the corner here? The Stanley Cup is over.
I'm game.
All righty. Who do you think is the best prospect out from Sweden that the Red Wings should target? Obviously, we are on pick 13, so we can't go too crazy with it, but some of the good prospects.
Yeah, Anton Frondell naturally will be gone by 13. I sincerely doubt he'll be there. A lot of mock drafts have Victor Eklund falling to us, and if that happens, we should be insanely happy because he's a player that, Vinny Trocheck.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love
that type
Trocheck.
of guy. Yeah, he's him in Swedish.
Victor Eklund.
So he's a bit more soft-spoken, but he's the same guy, basically. So, yeah, he's a all-motor, never gives up, puck hound, steals the pucks, scores the goals. He does pretty much everything. The only, knock on him is more or less only North American scouting that says he's too small. So it has worked out just fine for him here in Sweden. I mean, he gets caught by big defenseman in the SHL as well, but he works himself loose, and he most oftenly come out with the puck too. So he's a hell of a prospect. I think we should be very happy if we picked him. But those guys are spoken about like at length by every podcast. So I reckon if we should pick like guys a little bit more off the board, you have the Swedish / Australian forward Jakobis Wozniak, who's you can knock his skating, but you can't knock his scoring. He's a kid that really, really has a knack for goal. So in the later rounds, I think he could go as early as the first round. But he's a guy that if we could grab him in the second, we should be happy. You have a guy called Erik Nilsson who plays for Djurgården, also a really, really nice center prospect. And he's the type of center that does everything, a bit like Nate.
Nice.
You can't really like find any weaknesses in his game. They can do everything. So he's a really nice prospect. But if we can grab a guy in the later rounds, and we can grab a guy called Malte Vass. I speak about him on my latest episode of The Winger. So he's a really physical defenseman. He really loves to play the body, and he can really read the game. So he's everything everybody thought Brady Cleveland would be.
Gotcha.
When we drafted him. So that's a fun guy to like. If we could grab him, it would be awesome. And another guy is a Slovak who plays in the SHL called Michal Svercek. He is playing for Brynäs, which is the team closest to me where I live now. And he's absolutely hilarious to watch because he never quits either. He just keeps going. They knock him down, he bounces back up. He did a lot for Brynäs in the SHL, and Brynäs was the second best team. They lost in the final against Luleå. So those are the guys I reckon we should watch for the draft. There's plenty of good guys from Sweden. It's a deep Swedish draft this year compared to last year, which was a bit of a dud.
Roger that. Yeah, that's good to hear. I don't think I've ever heard of that. The last guy you mentioned there.
Malte Vass.
Gotcha. Thank you. We'll be looking into him a little bit. It sounds like, I think personally, we need another big physical defenseman in the room. So I agree with your on him.
Yeah, he's 6'2", 194 pounds.
Not
As
huge.
an 18-year-old.
Oh, so he's got room to grow.
He does have room to grow. I think if you look at the Elite Prospect page, it says Malte Vass is a defensive defenseman who kills plays through his physicality and motor. He suffocates opponents by taking away their time and space. He's an aggressive play killer who can leverage his strength and skating to stop rushes early or engage attackers along the wall to separate them from the puck. I mean, what's not to like, eh?
I hear you on that. That's good to hear. And like I said, I think both teams, Griffins and the Red Wings over here, need that kind of physicality and just another big defenseman. We really lost it with Edvinsson, and he went up to the Red Wings. So some more size wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, but he was so good this season. Talk about a revelation, Simon Edvinsson.
Yeah, he's honestly my favorite player that's come through the Griffins since the Yzer plan. I mean, obviously Lucas Raymond skipped us here in Grand Rapids, went right up, and then Simon Edvinsson. He just grabs my heart. My profile picture is literally me and him. It's awesome at the signing there. But yeah,
I think my Discord profile picture is Elmer Söderblom.
Elmer Soderblom.
Elmer Soderblom is another guy I love, man.
Yeah.
I love Elmer Soderblom.
Another guy I said that Detroit should draft before they did.
Nice.
I was on the train for him way before the draft.
Yeah, he's
Just
special.
because the first time I saw him, he was playing in the junior leagues, and you just see this guy it's like two players sitting on top of each other, and you go like, what the? Because in the junior league, you can have like guys who's 165 centimeters, and here comes Elmer. You go like, what?
Yeah, it was a minute there. We had Simon Edmondson and Soderblom. They were the twin towers here in Grand Rapids, and I got a picture of Soderblom and Edmondson standing next to each other, next to Amadeus Lombardi, who's like 5'10". He just you can hardly see the kid, you know.
That's crazy. Didn't Daniela Bruce stand between Edvinsson and Söderblom on a picture? I think she.
I think so. Yeah, I think
that also looked very silly.
Yeah, standing next to Soderblom, I was like, oh my God, man. Like, I took a picture with him too at the autograph signing, and I was right next to him, and I felt very like I had to look up to him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Just imagine if he got just a little bit meaner.
Oh,
a little bit meaner.
Yeah. I feel like he was on his way there at the end of the season.
Oh, he's getting there. He's getting there, but it's just like I said, big guys take longer to develop, and that's just not the motor. Like, it's just everything.
His reach, it's like if the puck's by him, he can almost like outreach almost anyone near him, and it's the Red Wings were utilizing him so good at like when we had the last minutes to make the playoffs. Elmer Soderblom was out on the ice, and for a rookie like that, that's amazing to see. I mean, it shows how much size can really matter, and like that really benefits.
Yeah, you don't get that much finesse with players that size most of the time.
No, the only one that I can like think of straight off the bat is like Tage Thompson in Buffalo, right?
Yep.
He's also huge and has the hands and the shot and everything, but he's also a higher drafted prospect than Elmer.
Elmer's 6th round, yeah.
It's crazy that he worked out the way he did, and for him, time is a little bit less of a factor when you're that kind of unicorn of a player.
Yeah, and I just hope they hold on to him, that they don't trade him and he has success elsewhere, because that would be horrible.
Right.
Just imagine we trade him somewhere and he becomes like what he could be if he maximizes his potential.
Yeah, full-time top 6. And
that would definitely hurt.
Yeah, I mean, when you're that size, you must be when you're younger, you must be like skating around thinking you could kill anyone if by mistake. So when you get like to senior level, you're still a bit hesitant to use your size.
Yeah, yep. And at some point, I mean, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I really don't know my strength, and I'm guessing he's still figuring that out. So.
But I saw a couple games when he played with Detroit where you could see he got angry.
Yep.
And there's not many of the players. I mean, he grabbed a couple of veteran players, and there was not much they could do about it when he got hold of them. So I mean, when he just gets a little more nastiness to his game, it'll be fun.
Yeah, there's something about
I saw that Gabe Seeger. I was thinking I should ask you about that. How did Gabe Seeger do this year? He's a former student of mine, actually.
Oh, really, dude? He did really good. He got like about what, 7 or 10?
I think he got 10 goals, 7
10
assists.
goals. Yeah,
I think he had 17 points. He actually put on a really good season as a two-way forward for the Griffins. I was really excited we signed him again. So. Really good things for Seeger, honestly. I'm excited to see him next year and hoping he can develop a little bit. Kind of that front. He's a front of the net presence. He's physical. He's got that kind of power forward side to him, but he's also just two-way. And he ended the season at +5, where most of the team ended up falling off at the end with +- because we were getting scored on so much. He finished +5, so I really am like, this is a guy worth keeping.
And also, I really noticed a leadership role even too when the trade deadline happened, and you get a lot of the Grand Rapids dudes have to go up to Detroit to fill in holes, and like we were looking at dudes like Cross, Hanas, and a couple other dudes to really step up, and we had injuries to Lombardi and Mazer, and Seeger came in and he really stepped up along with like Carson Bantle, a couple of those other younger guys. It's really cool to see. Hunter Johannes, another one who really stepped up during that time.
Yeah, Seeger was he was a captain of the NCAA team he played for, I think, for 2 or 3 seasons.
I want to say Cornell.
Well, was it Cornell at the end? Wasn't it? I think he started with when he was my student, he was going over to like a team called Armadillo Red Bulls, Blue Bulls, some Bulls, and then he moved to like some NCAA team, and then Cornell, and then somewhere else, or the other way around. Either way,
Yeah,
it was
he
kind
was
of
the
fun.
Amarillo Bulls in the North American Hockey League, looks like.
Yeah,
And then Union College for 3 years, where he was the assistant captain, and then he went to Cornell in 22-23, finished his college career, and became an assistant captain in his final year of Cornell. So
yeah. It was kind of funny though, because when you saw, I don't know if you saw the interview with MBN and ASP, where they referred to Gabe Seeger as their dad on the team.
No,
That's
I haven't
awesome.
seen that.
Oh, he's what, 25?
Yeah, he's young. He's still pretty young.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he's a clever dude though. No, I teach at my students are between basically 15 and 19 normally, 16, 19, and it's technical focused school, so kids that want to be engineers in the future come to that school. And he was a really good student. He's a clever kid, and I think he did some engineering classes in college over there as well. So
gotcha.
So I don't think he'll be like forced to play hockey for a living if he doesn't want to, because I think he has some degrees to his name.
Nice.
So it's kind of fun. It's kind of funny that the kids like refer to him as the dad of the team for them, the Scandinavians.
That's
Old
hilarious.
man, 25-year-old Gabe Seeger.
25.
Yeah. No, we get the experience. They always do this great winter fest where we have Rosa Park Circle. It's an ice rink here, right in Grand Rapids. It's outdoor, and normally they have like one or two of the Griffins players out there like every hour, all night long for the entire night for 2 nights in a row, basically. And I caught Seeger out there and got a good chance to kind of skate around with him, pick his brain a little bit about how he's enjoying the season. And yeah, I was happy I got to have that talk with him. And like I said, I'm excited for him to sign another contract this year, and I'm really excited to see him back out on the ice.
Yeah, super nice kid.
Oh, anything else, Connor?
I don't know. So Lars, where can we find you at? What are your social medias?
I have the at Lars Thorsell on Twitter. The podcast is the Swedish Winger. I'm on most podcast apps. I don't think I can get on Apple. They hate me for some reason. I just keep getting an error message, and when I send something to their support, they just don't reply. So, I don't know if that's because I'm on BuzzFeed or whatever it's called, but I'm on Spotify. That's where I get most of my listens. I talk Swedish prospects and a fair bit about Detroit Red Wings as well. So just for fun, there's nothing like a weekly episode or a monthly episode. I just record when I feel like it and when I have the time between grading papers and writing up students for being bad.
Flip your card.
We should appreciate you releasing those episodes when you do. It's always good to hear from you, and your opinion is actually, we think it's pretty credible. So it's good to have you on our show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Great that you
took time
out of your day and everything. Like, we really appreciate it. If you ever want to make it, if you ever are in the States and you want to make it to a Griffins game, just hit us up and we will absolutely give you some tickets, man, for real. Like, if you're ever around.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Heck yeah.
I will do.
Awesome, man. Well, take care of yourself. We'll definitely talk to you again sometime for sure.
Yeah, I'd be happy to join. Just ask.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
You have a great one, Lars. Thank you so much.
You too, guys. Cheers.
Go Wings.
Go Wings.
Yeah, go Wings.
That was a great talk with Lars, the Swedish winger himself. And you can check him out on Spotify mainly. So go check him out. And you can check out the rest of that interview here in a couple weeks. It was a great interview. A lot of insight from Sweden that we wouldn't get from here watching the Griffins. So we're glad he came on. Thank you very much, Lars.
Yeah, appreciate you dropping the knowledge and covering all the players that we wanted to talk about over there across seas from us. So thanks. We're just going to kind of talk now about what actually happened in the NHL draft, considering that it is now over. So, first pick off the board. First thoughts on Calder Bear?
Yeah, he was on my top three. I wanted McQueen, I wanted Eklund, or I wanted Bear. I kind of wanted Eklund the most, but now that we got Bear. Well, first of all, he has the coolest name, Calder Bear, and I like that he's a ferocious kind of player. I like to see that because that's clearly what we need in our organization. And he's not quite the same player that we have like 10 of, like Nate Danielson, Marco Casper, Michael Branson Nygaard. He's kind of fits a different build. He's more of a goal scorer, and I'm really excited to see it. He had 40 goals last year, like 42 assists. Crazy numbers for a goal scorer. So we don't have that really. Hope we can translate into the AHL probably in about 2 years.
Yeah, I was not that I was shocked with Calder Bear. He was on my list. I was hoping we kind of took him too. But I was actually expecting Yzerman to go with another big defenseman. Like, I thought they were going to go with the Smith kid or the Aitchison kid. But, yeah, I was kind of shocked that he actually did go with Calder Bear, and I'm 100% fine with that. I think at 13, he's a pretty good pick. He was along the same line as the rest of them. I don't feel like you were getting any high-level prospect. I think the only question was a lot of people wanted Eklund. So Eklund dropped down, and he was available, but we still went with Calder Bear. So I think a lot of people were a little bit shocked at that, but yeah, I'm happy we got him on the team, and yeah, he looked a little speechless himself. So welcome to the club, Calder.
So we got, for a second round pick, we got Eddie Genborg, who's from Sweden. So that's cool.
Yeah, we got our Swedish winger, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, the NHL Network had him labeled as a right wing. I think he still shoots left-handed, but at the 44th pick, I feel like this is a pretty good pick. He's put on decent numbers. Looks like he will be slated for the SHL's time this year. At the top of the head, I think it's an all right pick, but nothing too flashy, I guess.
Yeah, he's 6'2", so I like his size. I mean, 205, so he's a big boy. He's another guy who can score really good. He's got energy, really good at hitting, and he can play both sides of the ice. So, not gonna complain. Not another kind of player in that bear build where they kind of have aggression.
Yeah, I think the one article I read said he liked to inflict as much pain while retrieving the puck on a forecheck as possible. So, type of player that Yzerman is going after in this year's draft seems to be forwards with an edge.
So the Detroit Red Wings pick up a solid goaltender in John Gibson, an NHL veteran. He's played for Anaheim for quite some time, and he's been very good. He's been their number one. We exchanged him for Peter Mrazek. Peter Mrazek came back last year at the end of the season, lackluster trade deadline, and Peter Mrazek is now off the team once again with a second-round pick in 2027 and a fourth-round pick in 2026. So I think it was a good deal.
Yeah, so we end up with John Gibson. Looks like he will be the starting goaltender with Talbot for the Detroit Red Wings next year.
It's a much more solid duo than Mrazek and Talbot.
I would agree. Yeah, Gibson's proved his worth through the years on a struggling Anaheim team, and he's held good numbers the whole time. So excited to see what we can do with him. And right after the goalie move, we end up drafting in the third round Michael Friedel goaltender at pick number 75. Kind of shocked by this one, honestly. I didn't expect Yzerman to go with a goaltender, being that the room is stacked and we just added Gibson. But it really kind of shows what he said in the postseason interview with the press conference, that he's looking at goaltenders that want to stop the puck, and he's looking to make an improvement in that position. So hopefully Michael Purdell, playing in the Tri-City Storm for the USHL, currently another Slovak here, playing in the Slovakian League. He's put up pretty good numbers in the World Junior Championship for the under-18s in Slovakia. He put up a .914 save percentage. So looks like some decent numbers here for the goalie we drafted in the third round, Michael Purdell.
When the Red Wings end up trading their pick away, they had 2 picks in a row here. They traded back Columbus for we end up trading the 3rd round pick to Columbus for a 4th round pick this year and a 4th round pick next year.
So with that 4th round pick, the Red Wings selected Brent Solomon, another forward.
Then 4th round, number 119, they select Michael Surchek, and he's one of the guys that we just heard Lars talking about.
Yeah, so thanks for the education on Mikhail Servacek there, Lars. Good heads up. I was happy to hear his name when he dropped in, so glad we got someone with a little bit of scouting ahead of time. And then number 6, looks like we're getting Nikita Tyurin, a Russian player, a 17-year-old defenseman in the 5th round at pick number 140. Interesting pick here as well. It sounds like there's some high regards for this kid's game as well. So
then another D-man in the 6th, 172, we get Will Murray, defenseman.
And then for the 8th pick and final pick of the draft, Graydon Robinson Palmer, a forward that is still in high school, another 17-year-old. So Yzerman stayed very young with this draft. And this one being the 7th round, we were supposed to have one more pick after this at pick 211, this pick being 204. But at pick 211, we ended up trading that one off to Calgary.
And it seemed like we were waiting forever for that pick to happen, and then they traded.
Yeah, I was like, all right, we can wait for this last one, and then we're done. And then we traded. So pretty lackluster end there. But again, things to consider in the future, as always.
Yeah, nice draft. A lot of these guys are typically more on the younger side, so you're not probably going to see any of these dudes necessarily go right to Grand Rapids this year.
Yeah, no Andre Becker's out of this draft.
Carter Bear would be probably the most likely to come over at the end of the year next year, but I don't think he's even eligible. You probably won't see Carter Bear till 2 years at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think a couple of these guys are a couple years out yet. Just being that there's some 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds here. I like the bunch. I think it says a lot about the current prospects we have. Yzerman is giving them time to kind of flourish and give them another year of development. But then also aiming for the future of bringing in that grit and some of these players that are just the relentless motor, the no quit, and the determination factor, getting that back into this team. So some exciting stuff here to look forward in the future with this 25 NHL draft.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I mean, we got a lot of prospects up in Grand Rapids, so it's kind of good to have that. It's kind of good to have that gap a little bit, so the contracts are a little separated out. Then you don't have to pay so many dudes at one time, so that could track strategy for Yzerman for drafting young. Or those are just the guys he likes.
Yeah, like this Graydon Robertson Palmer kid out of high school. I mean, there's not a whole lot of numbers for him, and even the NHL draft squad was like, yeah, we don't got a whole lot on this kid. So it's interesting to see what Yzerman saw in him and what they'll bring to the table. We're super excited to have them as part of the squad, and be drafted by the Red Wings is an honor. So welcome all to the whole bunch.
Welcome to the organization, gentlemen.
All right, that should wrap up the juice of this episode, and we can get on to the penalty box.
Welcome to the penalty box. In this segment, we like to end the episode on a fun note and step out of hockey. We like to take the biggest idiot of the week and throw them into the penalty box for a 2-minute minor, 4-minute double minor, 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. Kyle, who are you throwing into the penalty box this week?
All right, for me today, this one's the latest news, obviously. The NHL draft happening in LA. It was kind of hit and miss. Seems like it was fairly successful other than just the format itself and the absolutely terrible lag that you could hear every time one of the GM and coaches came on to welcome their new players. You could tell it was just kind of awkward. You could tell the new kids and the young generation was definitely a little more familiar with talking to a TV than some of these general managers and coaches, as most of these interactions were extremely awkward.
Yeah, it was all just, I think it was all really cheesy. So, I mean, I get you're trying to bring more people, but it was very cheesy. You got Gary Bettman being cheesy like he usually is. So, I say have fun in the box. Or make it more exciting. Less cheesy.
Yeah, I'd say it's just 4-minute double minor here. They got the lag in the interviews is just terribly awkward for the players and the coaches, and then just the format itself kind of left a lot to be desired. You're not the NFL draft; it's not going to be as big, so I don't know. The presentation could be just minimized a lot.
Yeah, I mean, the glitching, you expect that kind of stuff from us, but all right, let's have 4 minutes in the box, have fun. So who I am going to throw in the box. At Disneyland, a man thought it would be funny to hold a fake ceremony with a 9-year-old girl, a marriage ceremony. Well, the cops or nobody else thought it was funny. They arrested the man. He claimed it was a joke, prank, or whatever, and they didn't really care. So, yeah, have fun in the box, man. I think he kind of deserves that. Like, that's kind of sick. I don't know what kind of joke you think you're making, but yeah, that's a 5-minute game misconduct.
Yeah, you're gonna have to live with that one for the rest of your life, buddy. I tried to marry a 9-year-old at Disney World. That's pretty far out there.
Or the audience, the whole. I don't care if it was a joke. That's just
really.
So that should wrap us up for this episode. We'll have the players in the pipeline coming back up. We got the Monsters, Michigan State student section. We got 2 section leaders, Madison and Michael. They were really fun interview talking about Trey Augustine, Red Savage, and Nick Andrews. So for Michigan, we have the voice of Michigan hockey, actually, Al Randall, doing it for years. Gotta check that one out. We got more from the Swedish winger, which you heard a little of today. I love getting that aspect from Sweden. I'm really glad we got to collaborate with Lars because it's just really fun talking about other people who are really passionate about their shows. And then there's 2 more slots we have available for some. We're trying to find someone to talk, Dmitry Shelnikov and Jesse Kiskinen, and then we're going to try to have another walleye update because we didn't do any walleye this year, or we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, we're open to anybody who really wants to contact us. If you have something you want to say, get on the show and say it. We're always open to featuring whoever is interested and wants to talk Red Wings hockey. So feel free to just call us, direct message us, get in touch. And, we're on Twitter, Facebook, or X, Facebook, and Reddit. So feel free to message us and you got something you want us to hear.
Yeah, so until next time, you'll be hearing from Michigan State student section Monsters. So go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like, and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.